Hi, I'm Kevin Klein, and this is Inside Politics on the Winnipeg Sun. I have with me today Royce Coop, professor of political science at the University of Manitoba and a very popular columnist inside the Winnipeg Sun. Royce, thank you very much for being here again this
Oh,
week.
oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me again.
We have so much to talk about. There was chaos in Ottawa, people quitting and people calling for Trudeau to quit, and now, moments before we start to record this, we find out that Singh, the NDP leader, has now committed to bringing the government down. So I have that John Cougar song in the background of "The Walls Come Crumbling Down." To bring down the Trudeau and NDP coalition government. What are your thoughts on what's happened in Ottawa this last week alone?
Well, it's very hard to write anything or say anything about federal politics these days because every day brings some new drama that kind of snuffs out whatever happened the day before. And so today, as you said, Jagmeet Singh is now committed to bringing down the government to having a non-confidence vote in the new year. I'll believe it when I see it. He's made lots of noises like this in the past. He's disapproved of the government for like a year now. The NDP is not in a great position to enter an election campaign, so I'm a little doubtful about it. We'll see if it actually happens. I'll believe it when I see it.
I agree. I mean, I understand everyone beating up Trudeau, calling an election, but look, he's tone deaf. He doesn't want to call an election. He's not stepping down as leader, so we're wasting our breath beating him up anymore. It's over. It's over and it's done. Everybody knows that. But the focus should be on Singh. I mean, you have the ability to make the change in Canada that needs to be made. Now, I've heard that if he waits till near the end of January to bring the government down, he passes his magic 10-year date or whatever for his pension. Not everybody does, but he does. So I'm wondering if that's why all of a sudden he's come out saying, okay, I'll bring them down because it'll pass my pension date. Do you think that has anything to do with this?
It might, and I mean, in politics, perception it sometimes makes all the difference whether or not things are true. And if he's waiting until after that particular date, then people can reasonably infer from that that might have impacted the decision. It's no wonder that people are cynical about politics and politicians when these sorts of things happen. And you're right, it is on Singh's shoulders right now. Jagmeet Singh is going to decide whether or not this government falls and whether or not it continues onwards. It seems pretty clear that Justin Trudeau is not going to be forced out by his own caucus or by his own cabinet. Somehow, I don't understand how this happens, but no matter how many problems, no matter how many rakes the party steps on, or Justin Trudeau steps on, his party is not moving to push him out. In fact, they seem quite acquiescent to him, which is just very surprising. And so, yeah, this is Singh's decision. If he follows through, that's what we're going to need in order to have an election before next October.
Well, I do believe that that's where the pressure should be because I know Poilievre, they can continuously saying the same three words, axe the tax, let's call for the government, let's change things, I'll build more houses, blah, blah, blah. And always calling on the Trudeau government to call an election, but really the focus that's why I say the focus needs to be on Singh. And I think Canadian people have to start putting that pressure on the NDP. And you're right, they're not ready for the election. But I don't think he has any dreams of continuing on with the leader. To be quite frank, I think they're going to have a leadership review after the next election, whenever that might be. Let's hope it's in the spring. But really, I think he's gotten off easy. I truly believe the NDP have gotten off easy because if you look at the state of Canada right now, it is not just Trudeau. I'm not trying to give him a break in any way, shape, or form, but it is not just him. It is Singh that has held him up. Singh has allowed all of this nonsense to continue on, has given Trudeau the power to keep pushing forward with bad policy, with bad economic decisions, with bad spending. It falls on the NDP.
Yeah, the Canadians selected a minority government, and the NDP has the power to take them down. I think that I've thought this, ever since Trump announced he was going to do these 25% tariffs. Trudeau is not the right person for the job right now. He's been prime minister for a long time. he's had some policy achievements. I'll give the man his due. I don't think he's the right person for this position. He's not the right person to stand up for Canadian interests right now when Trump is actually more popular than Trudeau amongst Canadians right now. He's not the right person. So, really, I think the argument right now is Singh, even if the NDP is not in the best position itself, hasn't nominated a lot of candidates, doesn't have a lot of money, it's low in the polls. They should still like look at what's right for Canada. Look at what's good for Canada, and I think we need to. I think Trudeau needs to be replaced, and if that's with another Liberal cabinet minister, if it's with Pierre Poilievre, I think that's almost a secondary consideration. It really is in Singh's hands whether or not this happens now. He has to be accountable for it.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. And you mentioned the fact that, Trudeau's not the right person for right now, and he's been in there 9 years, going to be 10 soon if it continues to go on. And that brings me to a topic that I want to talk about briefly, and that's term limits. And we'll do that in a couple of seconds.